Alright, what's going on? So, Alexander Usyk, right? This is probably gonna be his last fight, his next fight, okay? His next fight is probably gonna be his last. Why do I say this? Well, because he has stated that, okay? Before the Dubois fight, he was asked how many fights he has left, and he said 2. You know, Dubois would be 1, and then 1 more fight. Okay, and it does make sense. He is approaching 40. He's done everything. You know, his legacy is cemented. There's nothing more for him to do, right? He's made a lot of money. He's got it all right now. You know, if he retired now, legacy, one of the best ever. He's got enough money. You know, he beat the best names at heavyweight. He beat the best names at cruiserweight at the time. So there's nothing more that Usyk could do, really. Any win from here on out would just be adding to his legacy, right? So who do I think he should fight in his last fight ever? For me, the number 1 contender has to be Caballero. You know, I don't know why there's so many boxing fans petitioning for average Joe Parker to get the shot. Parker stands no chance. You can check my last video, you know, where I laid that out. Average Joe has 0 chance against Usyk. Okay, we shouldn't be petitioning for Parker to get the shot, because that is boring. Parker is not an entertaining fighter. He's not going to go for it against Usyk and let his hands go. He's going to box like he always does and try to stink up the joint and try to win a boring decision over Usyk. Okay, that's what he's going to try to do, and he's going to fail at that. Okay, so this idea that Parker deserves the chance and all of this, who gives a shit if he deserves the chance? He doesn't deserve the chance over Caballero, in my opinion, because when you compare what Caballero has done in his last 3 fights to Parker, Caballero is more impressive. Caballero stopped Zhang. Joseph Parker, average Joe, journeyman Parker, got knocked down twice by Zhang, and then got on the back foot and ran away and won a points decision. Okay, compare that to Caballero absolutely flattening Zhang, you know, beating him up, breaking him down and stopping him. Caballero is more impressive. He deserves the chance to fight Usyk purely based on that, right? But we can also add in Frank Sanchez, the stoppage over Sanchez. Sanchez was undefeated, right? Caballero stopped him. Makhmudov was undefeated. Caballero stopped him, right? And Caballero stopped Zhang, a guy that got robbed against Hrgovic in one of his losses, and the other loss to Parker, he arguably won that as well. So Zhang had never been beaten comprehensively in his career until he came up against Caballero, who destroyed him. Okay, so Caballero is that guy. He's undefeated. It's unknown how good he is. Do I think he will beat Usyk? I don't think he will, but I give him a chance. And the fact that we know his style is to go for it and break guys down and try to stop them, even if he doesn't beat Usyk, he's going to have a good go of it. It's going to be entertaining for us, right? So as boxing fans, we should be petitioning for Caballero to get the fight, not Parker. Now, as a second choice, me personally, I think the most interesting matchup for Usyk as a second choice, okay, if Kabayel, for whatever reason, that fight isn't favoured by the powers that be, right? If they don't want Usyk against Kabayel, for me, the next best option, remember, this could be Usyk's last fight, so we want him to go out with a bang, you know, we want him to go out in an entertaining fight that we all want to see and that we're all up for. We don't want average Joe, right? But as a second choice, I would go Jai Opetaia, right? Jai Opetaia and Usyk have a common opponent, okay? The great Breedis, right? Who they both have wins over. Opetaia's got 2 wins over him in 2 close fights. And Breedis also gave Usyk a close fight at cruiserweight. Okay, so we know that Jai Opetaia is at a very high level, but he's at cruiserweight, okay? He would need to step up to heavyweight to fight Usyk, okay? I don't want to hear Usyk could go back down to cruiserweight to fight him. No. Usyk is the undisputed heavyweight world champion, right? This could be his last fight. There's no way Usyk should drop weight that he's put on for heavyweight just to go back down and fight the cruiserweight champion. If Jai Opetaia wants a shot at greatness, wants to prove that he is better than Usyk, he's got to go to heavyweight to do it. Okay, but that is a very interesting fight if it happens. So that would be my second choice. Now I'm going to chuck out 2 more choices for Usyk here in his retirement fight. One would be Tyson Fury. Yes, Usyk has beat Tyson Fury twice, and Fury shouldn't get a third fight against Usyk, but we all know the first fight was very close. The second fight was competitive, but Usyk clearly won. Usyk clearly won the first one too, but it was close. You know, it was a 7-5 type of fight, or a 6-6 type of fight, and Usyk got the knockdown. You know, so that was highly competitive. So if we wanted to see Usyk in another competitive fight, you know, if Fury really got up for the fight and really put 100% in, it would still be a very competitive fight, and we don't know what would happen, right? So Tyson Fury as a third option is not too bad. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Although I would have a stipulation in there that Fury must beat someone of note. You know, say a Hrgovic or a Zhang or someone like that before he gets a shot at Usyk. You know, he's been retired, or he says he's retired. He hasn't fought since the 2 losses to Usyk. He needs to get in there and beat someone to prove that he's still got it, right? So yeah, Fury would be a third option if the other 2 can't happen. Now, as a last option, a last resort, this one might not be so popular, but I wouldn't mind seeing Usyk against Wilder, right? Now, why Wilder? He's kind of irrelevant right now, yes, but he has had a comeback fight. He did get a win, but this fight would more be for Usyk to get that scalp on his record, right? He's already beat Fury. He's already beat Joshua. The last name he's missing is Wilder. If you look at, you know, the era of heavyweights over the last 10 years, those have been the three big names. You know, until Usyk came along, it was Fury, Joshua, and Wilder, right? So as a last fight to get that scalp and complete his domination of the heavyweight division, you know, why not feed Wilder to Usyk, right? And it would also be interesting as well, because no matter how bad you think Wilder is right now, and he is over the hill, he is still a guy that has a punch, right? So the fight is marketable. You know, Wilder is going to talk like he's going to kill Usyk in the ring. He does have that right hand, and if it lands, it can be game over for Usyk or anyone. You know, so there would be some interest there. So, you know, it's a fight I wouldn't mind. You know, as Usyk's last fight, as a fourth option, as a last resort, I wouldn't mind him fighting Wilder. Okay, but yeah, that's how I see it. Forget Average Joe. We want Kabayel. If it's not Kabayel, I think the next most interesting fight would be Opetaya, but it has to be at heavyweight. And then Fury and Wilder would be the next options on the table. You know, if I was in charge of making Usyk's last fight. So that's what I see. You know, that's how I have it. Let me know what you think.